Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match format show on the internet. We're coming off the back of the Newcastle game. It was West Ham 2, Newcastle 0. A brilliant performance. We'll be going through some other bits and pieces, news during the week. I don't think there's much happened, has there really?
Been quite quiet.
Quiet for International Week obviously. Let's start the game. West Ham 2, Newcastle 0, a very, very, very comfortable win tonight. And I ain't said that in a while.
No.
Yeah. Apart from the away games. Yeah. I mean at home.
I thought the first 20 minutes we looked a bit shaky.
I think that's nerves because of the nature of the two defeats we've had at the Bowling.
Yeah, but I'd say after 20 minutes we settled down, started knocking the ball about and getting it down and playing. But I'd say
we scored in the first 20 minutes, Gray.
Yeah, I know, but we were still shaking. We weren't passing it. I thought first 20 minutes Newcastle were pretty comfortable on the ball, knocking it about well, but they weren't really doing much with it. It was a lot of sideways and backwards, but not really anything.
No, I think that's their problem. They've got no potency up front or nothing like that. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, no, I think it was the starting lineup. I sort of got it right. The only one I got wrong was Lanzini starting, but I thought he played well. I thought it was right to keep Tompkins at right back. I thought he was unbelievable tonight again. He's the most improved player I've seen he is.
I think he's fearing for his place a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's good, and that's what players need, to boot up the arse.
I think all the players are fearing for him. Like, no one's guaranteed to be.
No.
First, I think Noble captain, like proper captain for the first time since he's been named club captain. I think he played really well. Couple of mistakes, but
Scott said to me about half an hour in, he said tonight we've seen the best of him and the worst of him. Is that fair to say?
No, after half hour.
We saw the things that Noble does really well, and then when he saw the things why fans get on his back.
But he was trying passes that he wouldn't have tried weeks ago. And a couple of them come off.
Yeah.
But he weren't the only one.
It's like we said to Nicky, after he set up, I know we'll go through the goal, but after he played his part in the goal, he hit that crossfield ball. And I said to Nicky, 1-0 up, people are applauding that crossfield ball that goes out of play. If it's 0-0 or we're losing 1-0, everyone's on his case.
I don't know. I think that people would have clapped the ambition of trying it because it was a good ball. It was only the batsman that took it out.
Just had a bit too much pace on it. But and then a couple of times after that, again, it was seeing the worst of it.
But I think that at points in that game, though, I thought we'll go through the game in a second. But at points in that game, I thought that we was trying things that we ain't tried in a long time. We had a bit of confidence about us. Even at 1-0, although we let them have the ball in certain areas and whatnot, and some points during the game we let them have the ball in the area for too longer than I would like. But there was nothing. They just looked comfortable. But let's go for the game. That man Payet, absolute belter of a first goal.
Average player.
He's absolutely outstanding.
I was saying to him, I was sitting next to him and I was saying, it embarrasses me sometimes how good he is. I feel sorry for the other team. We have got a world-class player there.
Who's going to be taking him off? He's embarrassing.
No, he was. How we managed to get him. Hats off to the ball, Bilic.
You know what surprises me? Is that he's 28 and no one's come in for him. Not that I've heard.
He's not
one of the big.
A big European club. Like he's been playing. Where was he playing? Marseille. Was it Marseille? It was Marseille, wasn't it? He's been playing now. I mean, they're not a small club. No. I won't say that, but I'm talking about like the Juventuses, the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas of this world. I don't know how anyone's not sort of like picked up his scent
because he was waiting for the greatest team in the world. West Ham.
That's true. But you look at it, the stats that he had coming in when we signed him. He was the third highest assists in European football.
Well, he was one behind Ronaldo and one in front of Messi, something like that, or the other way around. He was in between them two, along with Fabregas, and so he's not in bad company.
That's what I mean.
But you're talking about they're playing for Real Madrid and Barcelona. He's playing for Marseille, and no disrespect to Marseille, they're not Real Madrid or Barcelona.
The thing is, he just tries things that we ain't seen. Like I was saying when we done the interview after the game, we ain't had a player like that. I know we had with Morrison, but since Di Canio, Now, Di Canio used to like all them little flicks around the corner and little triangles and that, and that's what he likes to do. He likes to run with the ball. He's got so much pace.
The good thing for me with him is that we've got players that are on his wavelength.
The thing is as well, when he gets the ball, you feel like something's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's what we need.
Not only that, it's not only that, because you get them sort of players that are skillful, that are, but they're lightweight.
Yeah.
But he's so strong on the ball. When he runs with the ball, it just he's got such quick feet. He can pick out a pass. He picked out a couple of lovely passes tonight. 2 wonderful finishes. That second one I get overlooked a bit by the first one, but the second goal was that's a tough finish.
Yeah,
that's a tough finish.
Yeah, got over him.
Yeah, that is a tough finish in that situation. But I forgot what I was fucking saying.
The finish, the first goal,
the build-up. The build-up for the
play,
first goal was just as good as the finish. I think it was Sacco done well to roll the ball up, played it into Noble, will full 2 defenders.
But what a finish as well. And Tim Krul's not a small goalkeeper, is he? And that was in the top corner.
He's picked out that corner.
The thing is as well, the pass, he just walked onto it. He didn't have to break his stride or anything.
Everything was right.
The back heel, the layoff, the ball back to him, it was picked out perfectly. A couple of times last season or the season before, that would have been going across the box and narrow misses, but they picked him out, and what a finish.
But it's also good to have a player who can. We ain't had a player that can score from midfield like that.
Nolan.
You're right. No, you are right. He is right. That's the last player. Nolan in his pomp. First season, Nolan. Second season, Nolan. No. But that takes a special player to be able to do that sort of thing. We went on. We looked a bit shaky at times in the first half, especially.
They were getting.
I think you're right. It was nerves from the previous.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they know another goal, and the crowd starts to sort of sour a little bit.
That's the first time we've been 1-0 up at home. First time we've gone a goal up, so they're probably thinking, what do we do now?
That's it. I said the downside was for me, especially in the first half, is you see Newcastle getting the ball out wide, playing the ball into the middle, and their midfielders had so much time on the edge of the box. I think Reedy shut one down, someone else shut one down, blocked a couple of shots, but
where was that little bit half an inch too slow tonight, I think.
And I think better teams will punish us if we give them that much space in that middle.
Also, I think Ogbonna played until he come off. He played real well. But is it me, or does he look like he's lost a lot of weight as well? He looks a bit more leaner and faster as well than when he first joined, and it's only been a few weeks.
I think that might be the training regime.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. He looks a lot sharper.
There's a lot more energy.
Yeah,
played than there has been for a long time.
And once again, that's the benefits of having a strong bench. You can bring on someone like Cole Jenkinson and move Tompkins into the mid.
Bench was the strongest I've seen in years.
Yeah,
years and years.
You had options in every.
And we've still got Song, Valencia,
Zarate, I'm surprised he wasn't back. He was meant to be back this week.
I think he's put him back another week.
No, but he said he's going to miss 2 games.
Yeah, he come out and said 2 games, but I think he's either tweaked something or they're not. They didn't want to rush him back in today. But you look what we had: 2 strikers on the bench.
Antonio,
Jenkinson,
a keeper. You got to have a keeper. Collins, any one of them can step into the team and improve it. And as he said, you still got Valencia, you still got Zarate, Song, all to come back into the side.
Got a strong squad now.
Yeah, I think Oxford might come back in next week because of the injury to.
I don't know.
Just on the bench. I don't think in the starting 11, but
I think they're better off loaning him out. To be honest,
to be fair, I'd loan him out. Just to give him, even if they loan him out on a month.
You got to remember, he's only 16.
I would say a little bit though. He might even be too young to loan out. I know he's played Premier League football. I know he's played a couple of games, but you don't want to be giving him to the sort of teams like a Blackburn or someone who are going to absolutely fucking play him every week and run him into the ground because he's young. You get a little tweak in a muscle when you're that young, and it's hard to come back from that.
That could be the benefit of loaning him out monthly. Sending him to someone on loan for a month, bringing him back. He ain't going to get. He still gets that break, but he's still also getting the experience.
My work short of a warehouse.
But when you look at the other players that have gone out on loan, they're a bit older, and they're probably in that time of their career when they need to be playing.
I wouldn't be sort of like, he's one of our gems. He's you know, a big. He's going to be a big player in the future. I would not be trusting him with sort of like a season-long loan to Charlton, for instance, because they will just run him in.
Maybe someone like a League Two club or something.
I think Bilic is doing the right thing. He's not overdoing. Like, you know, he had a good game against Arsenal, and the temptation might have been to go, right, we'll keep sticking him. But you know, he's giving him the experience of being around the first team squad and playing in the Premier League, but he's not overdoing it. I think we're doing right. I mean, like, they're playing now and again.
For me, the one thing we're losing to Leicester was it brought a few of them players back down to earth, and I think Oxford was one of them.
I think Cresswell was one of them.
Yeah, he totally deserved to start against Leicester, but I think it not working. I think will do him good in the long term.
Thing is,
an expectation.
And he'll learn from it.
He'll probably start next week against Leicester, won't he, in the Carling Cup?
So. Yeah. To be fair, I think he'll start at the back.
I think he should be. Yeah, I think he should be sort of.
I think Collins will start, and I think it'll be. Yeah,
they're doing the right thing with him. Just get, you know, a little bit of game time here and there. Just experience of being in the first team.
Oh, I bet he's over the moon with it. Anyway, let's move on to the game because we've still got a lot of this game to cover. Yeah, it got shaky at times, but as I say, some of the passes and things. Noble, you said we see the best and worst of him, trying some things that maybe he wouldn't have tried a few. Certainly not the last few years, but
he was having a go at players.
Yeah, but also I think it might be that sort of that temptation to sort of play them balls because he knows that there's players good enough
in the players around him.
You know, if that fucks up,
you know, you've got class round you.
The difference is if he tries to play a ball like he plays and he's got running, you know, he's relying on Jarvis to run onto it. Or
you look at last season, like he had Nolan, Song, Kiate with him. They're three similar players.
Yeah, and there's
now he's got Payet, Moses.
He's got stuff
Lanzini ran him, people that can run with the ball.
I must admit, he didn't go back as much as he normally does as well.
Because he's got options.
Yeah.
Players making the run.
So glad that he's captain.
It's good.
Yeah, let's mention his captaincy. He has been given a captaincy on a full-time basis. He takes over from Super Kevin Nolan, obviously. Right decision or wrong decision?
Time will tell.
100% right decision, not even a
He's basically
question.
been captain in waiting for the last few years. So
when
I think it's the right decision.
When Bilic first signed, do you remember what I said? Bilic will build a midfield around him,
cool, yeah,
and he will.
Yeah.
And look what he's doing now. People were saying, "Oh, when Son comes back, Noble will not be moved out of the team unless Noble's playing poor."
Yeah, but he won't now.
I love him as captain. He's been in the first team for over 10 years now.
He should be captain because of one, that, two, he's a West Ham boy, and it's the last season at Bowling. You know, and that's.
I don't think he's giving him for sentimental value.
But he deserves it for them things. You know, it's right that we have a local lad. The last season at Bowling, it is right that a local lad's a thingy.
I don't think that's the reason, though. I think he's the best candidate.
That he will make a good captain. I think Bilic has recognised that, and
I think his loyalty over the years he's deserved that captain's armband, and he'll go on now to be another captain for another 4 or 5 years.
He's going to be a captain. It's always going to be remembered. Last one at the Bowling, first one at the Olympic Stadium.
Well, if that's if he's captain next year. Anyway, half time comes. We're looking at each other, me and him, a bit nervous.
Oh yeah. Did you have a kiss?
Prolonged eye contact, was it?
I'll run away from him.
No, we're looking at. I said we've got to get his second goal. Come straight out the second half on the front foot. Moses, brilliant bit of work over the top. He's shrugged off 2 defenders, done all the hard work himself, smashed it straight across the crossbar.
I thought it had gone in first of all.
Yeah, I did as well. But you know what, mate? The best thing about it, as I said about that goal, fantastic finish.
Yeah.
And he was happy. Yeah. He was smiling. I could see his smile, but he was absolutely gutted that he didn't score. And I mean, he's holding his face like, you know what I mean? I don't know whether it's embarrassment or whether obviously you can't
that's
see.
the difference between the last 2 home games. We never had someone like him. You know, everyone Payet was the only one with pace, but now we've got Moses, and he's fast, and he's a good player, and he proved that tonight.
Said you just look at that leading up to that goal. His pace and his strength got him into that position. You know, he's outpaced one defender, and he shrugged the other defender off with his strength.
It just bodes so well. This is the first time we've spoke since the transfer window shut. Every signing they made on deadline day was the right one.
Yeah, totally.
was the right one. We bought in pace.
Yep.
We bought in width. That I was saying, we've got to have width. We've got to have width. You know, you go and beat Liverpool with 11 men. And I mean, we had a bare 11. It's like down to bare bones Harry Redknapp style, isn't it? Let's be honest. And you go and beat them convincingly, and like. That was a bit of a dangerous result in ways, because he could have looked at it and went, "Oh, we've got enough.
Yeah, don't need it."
Yeah, we you know, one or two. You know what I mean? But they went out.
I think deep down he knew he never had enough. He knew what he needed.
No, but I'm not talking about Bilic. I'm talking about the owners. It's tempting for them. You go and smash Liverpool at Anfield 3-0, and he thinks, you know what? Maybe we don't need. We've got players coming back and whatever. Got Matty Jarvis there. You know, they literally like, all right, Jarvis was the only one that left, but he'd gone stout at West Ham.
Yeah, it was a right.
You know,
Jarvis going was the right move for the club and for him.
Yeah,
I think it's a great move for Jarvis.
And congratulations on your goal this week, Matt, because that was an absolute cracking goal.
Great goal. It's what he needs, a run of games.
Yeah, I think so. I was saying to Scott about Jarvis. I think it just got the confidence was just gone out of him. It was gone.
See, I was always willing him to do well, you know. I really wanted him to do well.
Yeah, so did I. You know, I liked him, there's a player in there somewhere. You know what I mean?
For what his price tag was when we signed him and his stats when we signed him, he had that, but it just didn't work.
And sometimes it happens. And but he's moved on, and we bought in, you know, obviously Moses, Antonio, Jelavic, which I'm sure Ryan will agree was the better option than Adebayor.
Without a foul.
Look at his face.
Anyone was better than Adebayor. And do you know what? When I see he left Tottenham yesterday, didn't he? I was thinking to myself, please God no. But I don't think he can sign for a Premiership club.
No,
he can't sign for anyone.
But they come out and said that they're not interested in him.
That can't be true. We've been interested in him for the last two windows.
Bilic said midweek that he'd had a chat with him for an hour.
Yeah.
And he sort of decided against it, I think. So
yeah, because Adebayor probably sent him a bill for about 300 quid for the hour. Solicitor.
For me, the signings we made were all good. You know, barring Antonio, you've got experience.
I think the Jelavic one was a bit probably. He's a good signing, but it was the poorest signing out of that deadline day. If you know what I mean, he's a good signing. I think he's a backup striker. He'll never start,
of course,
in Carling Cups.
But he's a backup striker who's scored goals. I know
he probably won't get on,
but he scored goals in the Premiership.
He probably won't get on as much.
Yeah,
especially with Andy Carroll back now.
Yeah. But let's
talk about that later.
He's there as the backup for Carroll.
Yeah, he's there. That's how you got he's there when they're all fit. He's not getting on the bench. But
it's a good option.
Yeah,
it's a good option.
And I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure Slaven's been thinking. But anyway, wrapped up the game. I can't say a lot about Newcastle because they offered absolutely nothing in attack, apart from having a little few touches in the box. Their potency, they're worrying for me.
Yeah, I said to you, didn't I? Newcastle have always had that number 9 striker over the years, but they ain't got nothing. No. Cisse looks a shadow of what he was.
He was awful. The only one that actually looked like doing anything was Sissoko.
He's their best player, isn't he?
Was it the 17? Is he playing left wing?
Yeah, Matt.
No, he was on the right.
I don't know.
He was pad.
Colback's not a bad player, but he's not.
He got outshot.
Yeah, he got outshot. Yeah, of course he did.
You know.
I noticed they were doing like, you know, I think there was a couple of times in second half where Cresswell just lumped one up the pitch to get rid of it, and they let it bounce and bounce.
Yeah, we've done that a few times, though. We've done that a few times.
I think Steve McLaren as well. I said it when he went to Newcastle. He's not the right man for the job. It was a panic appointment, and he won't last. He'll be out of a job within 10 games.
The problem with Newcastle is, I think they've got the potential there. And they've got the fan base, and they've got they've got a good. They ain't won nothing for 50 years. They think they're a lot bigger club than they actually are, but because they're a big club on the outside, and they've got a brilliant fan base, you can't knock their fan base. You know, tonight,
great club,
Monday night, full at, brought away the maximum supporters, and they're singing and all that. And let's be honest, over the past few seasons, they've been absolutely awful, and they was awful tonight. And I feel for them because they should be a big club.
They should.
It's there. The only thing that they've got is they've got an owner he does not want to spend a penny of his money into that football club. He reckons he's a southerner for a start. He comes from down here. and he won't spend the money. He won't spend any fucking money on the team. And he made all this, but he come on, like, done an interview when we played them last year when they stayed up by the skin of their teeth. And he was like, yeah, this is going to be a new era. Nothing's changed, and nothing will change with him. They get short-changed a bit, Newcastle fans, I think. They've been really... I loved our fans down by the away fans. Those were singing, "You need Sam Allardyce." And I said to you, if they equal those, they're going to sing that to us.
They only really stayed over last season because we rolled over and let them tickle our bench. You know, if we had gone there, if we'd gone there and actually gone for the game, we would have beat them. Yeah,
that we was in such poor form.
Yeah,
they could not have picked a better team to play.
It was us.
Yeah, it was us.
Yeah. And that's why they stayed up.
Yeah,
for me, you know, they should have gone down.
They would have gone down. They wouldn't have gone down anyway because Hull didn't beat United.
No,
but
that's why I thought it would have been a tricky one tonight because we were saying
fuck Newcastle.
I was going to leave it there, but
fuck Newcastle.
Nick. We owed them that one today.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because we did. You know, there was we let them start at the end of the season. So, but let's end that there. We've covered a lot tonight. It's getting a bit late. What's the time?
Covering Big Andy Carroll.
Let's talk about Big Andy. I nearly forgot about him. How can I?
You forget about him,
I was sitting on that touch. I was watching him warm up. I was
getting a bit excited. Just getting a bit excited.
It was great. I said to you, didn't I? I said to you, they need to bring him on now because the ground's gone flat. It needs a lift. Bring him on, and he did, didn't he?
Nicky was calling him to come on at our time.
No, I won't. No, I won't. I said he should get about 20 minutes. But to be fair to Bilic, you know, the game was comfortably won. You don't need to risk him now. That is the difference between him and Allardyce.
Yeah.
That is the difference, because I remember the day that Andy Carroll got injured was against Southampton when we drew 0-0 there. And he brought him on after he was injured against United. Couldn't play against United, could he? He didn't play against United. He didn't, did he?
No.
And he brought him on after 25 minutes. It was like he was itching to get him on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he had that option. Coley had played quite well in the United game, if I remember rightly. He didn't really have a reason to drop him.
No.
And as soon as Cole gave the ball away once, he was like, right, get him off and get him on. You know, he could not wait to get him on because he's the nucleus of what he's trying to do with the side.
He showed that you look at that, it showed the single-mindedness of Allardyce.
And Bilic has come back this week. He's sort of released a press statement in the press saying not happy with the way he treated him because he never gave him a chance to recover.
No, that's it.
That's what I'm saying. Allardyce would have had Carroll in that squad at the Arsenal.
But when you think about, I can understand it in 2013, 2014. I can understand it then. But last year, we was doing so well that he had that sort of he had that cushion to rest him, and he could not wait to get him back in the team. I don't know whether I don't know what he's thinking of back there. You know,
gambled all the money on him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's gambling on a man's fitness and a man's career because you know he's had so many now. He's starting to get to a point when it's career threatening for him. You know, the next injury could be the last.
And he's going down that road now that he's going to be remembered as a sick man.
It was great to see him back though.
Really, but that's the thing. 5 minutes at the end, he never panicked. You know what I mean? He never looked at 1-0 and thought, "Oh, I better get him on. He'll get me a goal." You know, he waited and waited. Last 5 minutes, he went, right, get on there, give the crowd a lift, get yourself, do the keeper. You know, put it on him. He don't want it.
I think even just being involved in a matchday squad was enough for Andy Carroll.
The thing is,
it's good for him to get 5 minutes.
It lifts the crowd. Yeah, it lifts the players.
So the atmosphere runs.
It get longer on Saturday.
Puts a bit of pressure on the strikers. It puts a bit of pressure. You know, Sacco worked hard again tonight. Worked hard against Liverpool. Got the goal. He didn't get the goal tonight, but it's now putting pressure on him.
It's a game changer. If you're changing a game, he's an option to change it.
Exactly.
Lump it up.
Any one of those players would have brought on tonight could have changed the game.
The thing is for Carroll, for me, is that he come on when Payet was blowing out of his arse. So, but if I'd like to see them two start together,
Oh, well, yeah,
Because
definitely.
just quickly touch on Sacco. He's I don't know. It's this season he don't look the same player, does he?
For me, because he's on his
Working
own.
hard.
He's working
I
hard.
think
He's
at
not-
home we've got to go 2 up top.
Yeah, Sacco's not that striker that can play that lone role. I know with Payet and Moses coming down, he's still technically a lone striker. He can't play that role.
2 up top.
If you're playing 2 up top with him, I think it gives him a bit more.
He can run onto things.
Yeah,
he ain't trying to hold
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And if you go back to early last season with him and Valencia, there weren't no hold up play.
No.
It was hitting the balls into channels and things like that they can run onto.
Would you go if you're going to go 2 up top? Then would you go 3-5-2? Because a lot of teams play 4-5-1 now, don't they? So you don't want to, you know.
No, I don't
match
think
forward in the
4-4-2.
middle.
4-4-2. Yeah, I think it's. I don't know.
4-4-2 and then mix it up in the middle.
That's the tough thing.
But that's the thing.
Exactly.
He ain't got to play now.
No.
He ain't got to.
No, exactly.
We've got options to keep him out of the side, let him come into the side, and let him come into games. You know what I mean? He ain't got to be.
And I think Carroll will prefer that. Sorry, who are we talking about? Sacco.
Sacco.
Yeah. Because Sacco ain't going to can't play every game.
No, exactly.
So maybe giving him a rest.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Bring him on as a sub.
Rotating it and not relying on one. And Jelic is playing and Carroll's playing and Valencia's coming back in a few
Zarate.
weeks' time. Zarati's there. You know.
It's like when we were at the ground, we said, you look at the goals we scored this season. How many have been by strikers? Zarate
Where's Joey O'Brien?
and Sacco. The rest
Where
have
is
all come
Joey
from
O'Brien?
midfield.
I don't know. Where is Joey O'Brien?
He's still there. He's injured, isn't he?
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a campaign.
Get him back.
It's nice that we're getting goals from midfield.
But the goals are coming from everywhere.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Defence, midfield, attack.
Which is what we've missed.
I don't think I've ever seen as many different goal scorers at the beginning of a season ever.
Yeah.
It's normally sort of like we win a couple of games. If we've won 3 games out of 5, we've had a good start to the season. Obviously, we're 5th in the table tonight.
Another clean sheet.
Obviously, a couple of red cards, which is hampered.
A couple?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like taking out the European games, a few red cards that have sort of hampered our progress with the players, but the goals are coming from everywhere. Lanzini banged them in, Coyote banged a couple, Tompkins has got one, who else has got them? Zarate's got one. Sacco's got one, yeah.
Payet the 2 today. Payet, did he score first?
He got one against Leicester.
Yeah, he got one against Leicester, yeah.
Coyote.
And
scored.
Who made it 2-2? Sacco, wasn't it? Cresswell. Was it Cresswell?
No, Mega got one, didn't he?
Mega, fucking hell, I forgot about him. That's what I'm saying.
Just quickly as well though, Randolph, Adrian. Would you go?
Some good
Do you know?
I'd say you got to go Adrian back in goal because he's the number
You have
one.
got to, but he's done nothing wrong.
This is you've got you haven't got to do it, but your number one's always your number one.
Yeah.
But looking at what Bilic has done, when a player's played well, he's kept them in.
But I think Randolph's proved that he's a good backup.
Yeah, especially
He took a lot of stick. We give him stick. Everyone give him
That's
stick.
it. When you're
But
looking
he's
back at
proved
that Adrian
tonight-
sending off and how we were about Randolph playing the next game.
He made a save tonight, and he wasn't called upon a lot. But he made a save tonight that was dipping in an absolutely fantastic fingertip save. And I must say, in the 3 games that we've played, we've won every one, haven't we? Oh no, the Bournemouth games.
But the Bournemouth one weren't his fault.
No, the Bournemouth he was let down by his defence.
He made some great saves in that game. He got the man of the match, for God's sake.
I still think you got to go Adrian in goal.
Gray?
Yeah, I mean it's harsh on Randolph. He hasn't done anything wrong, but like you say, your number one's your number one.
I think it's a bit harsh on someone because he's going to be wanting to get him back in. So I think saying to Randolph now, look, you've done a fantastic job, putting your arm around him, say, look, I know I can rely on you now. I'm not going to be going and looking for the Rob Green, because there was all talk, that's putting people down when you're talking about, a couple of weeks ago before we played Bournemouth, and they're saying, we've got to go and get a new goalkeeper. He can put his arm around him and say, do you know what, Darren, you've done it, because he wouldn't have been sold on the pretenses he's going to be number one. He's going to put his arm around him and say, you know what, Darren, you've done an absolutely marvellous job for us. We know we can call upon you now when we're live, but Adrian is our number one.
The thing is though, right, you've got Man City next week, and then we've got Leicester in the Cup. Now, do you say to Randolph, you're not playing against City?
Who's Randolph?
and then put him back in for the Leicester game? Or
Yeah,
do
maybe,
you,
yeah,
or do
maybe.
you stick with him for the City game and then bring Adrian back for Leicester and then carry on?
No,
with
do you know
Adrian
what
from
I would say to Randolph? I would say to him, do you know what? You can be our sort of League Cup goalkeeper to give yourself a bit, tick yourself over, you know, because I feel, and it's so different to what I said at the beginning when he got sent off.
all the same.
Because you know I was so dismissive of him. I just thought he's not going to do no good. He's been absolutely magnificent in the 3 games that he's played, and although I would bring Adrian back in, I'd say to him, you know, because if you don't bring Adrian back in now, all he's waiting for is one mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It piles a lot of pressure on Randall.
Yeah, he's waiting for him. He's going to say to him, you know, as soon as he makes that one mistake, he's going to use it as an excuse. If he turns around and goes, no, don't drop anyone. As soon as he makes that one mistake, he's going to turn around and go, right, Adrian's back in there. You've made that mistake, and Randolph's going to be thinking, fucking hell,
he's going to knock his confidence.
Yeah. So I'd put my arm around him. You've had three magnificent games.
I think he knows he's back up. He was told that in the summer. So
he wouldn't have signed.
He never thought he was going to play in this early in the season. So no, he's done well. But Adrian's your number one. Toss up.
Right. Have we heard anything in the week? Has there been any news? Right?
No.
It's been nothing.
It's been dead, isn't it? Apart from Wayne Rooney, 50 goals. We're going to mention that because of England. 50 goals, Wayne Rooney. Well done,
Wayne.
We don't watch England, no, we're shit.
I watch England.
No, I don't. I can't stand watching England. Do you watch England?
I do, yes.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I must be the only prick that don't.
A lot of people
He'll want to come to the barbecue, won't he, next summer in the Euros?
Well, no, I watch the World Cup in the
England
Euros.
shirt.
No, but I find England games. I find England games very, very, very boring, and I will not watch them while that prick's in charge.
You say they were boring. They are boring a lot of the time.
Why?
That's last time we played Slovenia at home. That was quite an entertaining game.
Who?
Slovenia.
It bores me to tears. Do you know what? I'm a proud Englishman. I've got fucking tattoos on me, England tattoos. But with him in charge, they bore me to tears.
Yeah, it is boring.
It's been boring. No, do you know what? It's been boring since Capello.
Yeah, it's been boring for a long time.
Capello, is that his name? I thought.
I thought the last time we were best to watch was
Robson,
Venables, and then Oddle. That's the best we've been to watch. So that period.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah, a long time ago. He's talking Venables.
I thought
20 years ago.
we was all right under Sven. I thought we played some good football under Sven.
Right, the most I've enjoyed watching.
Sven.
But to be honest,
that's the most I've enjoyed watching.
Sorry, we'll talk about England because it was last week. To be honest, under Sven, we had a generation of players there that should have won or gone close to winning the World Cup.
2006, we should have won that World Cup without a doubt.
2002, we should have gone close. Yeah, that is a golden generation of players that have just been wasted.
Yeah.
But we've got some good players coming through, haven't we?
Well, they built up more than.
I like that. I love that Ross Barkley. I think he's going to be a great player for England.
When you think about the 2002 side, I think you're talking about sort of like a fucking magnificent Rio Ferdinand, a magnificent Sol Campbell, which was a rock.
Yeah.
Beckham.
Do you think
in their pomp, Scholes in his pomp?
Do you think there was too much pressure put on them?
No, maybe. I don't, because I think as professional footballers, you should be able to handle that pressure. You think about an emerging Frank Lampard, a world-class Steven Gerrard.
I think there's much pressure on them for that than there was when they go and play for them.
Emoeski.
The good thing is with England, now is that we've got 9 months to prepare for this tournament. If the FA had bollocks, they'd get rid of Hodgson now, and they'd bring someone else in. Yeah. No. But who'd you bring in?
I just always found like when it comes to tournaments, the media were like, yeah, we're going to win it, we're going to do this, we're going to win the World Cup. Last time we come close to winning the World Cup was 1990.
Don't watch the telly, don't read the paper.
But they don't.
But they don't.
Just quickly, who would you like to see as the next England manager?
Pardew.
See, I don't think we will go English next manager. I think they'll look abroad again.
Yeah, I don't think we will, but I think Pardew's the man for England.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but I think he wouldn't get respect to the big players. But then again, there's not many big players left now, is there? You've only got Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, but
he nearly had a punch up again on Saturday.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Pardew.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, that we ain't got. There's not the characters there. There's not the characters who will take over the dressing room, like your Terrys, like your Gerrards. They've gone.
No, Terry just takes your wife.
Yeah. But you know,
let's just worry about England next.
Yeah, we'll worry about England next time. We'll get this wrapped up. We are pushing for
John Hartson.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it. Go on, you do it because it was all you. It was all Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan done an absolutely marvellous job.
Outstanding job.
Round of applause, boys. It's fucking fantastic.
The no Jonathan Ross.
Thank you. I felt more like Michael Parkinson, but no, it was good, wasn't it? It was nice to meet up with a big man.
Brilliant.
Top bloke.
Absolutely.
Looking really well.
Really well, really healthy. Looks. Do you know what? He looks in a real good shape as well. You know what I mean?
Such a passionate man, wasn't he? Loved it. Loved talking football with him.
Nice bloke.
All round nice fella. He's got a renewed zest for life. I can sort of see, you know, he's admittedly like a bit of a bastard in his olden days, you know what I mean, and I'm sure he admits that, but you know, he's zest for life now and his family. And
I think when he opened up about the cancer, the room just went quiet, and you could, and I could see him welling up, and even I was welling up, and I was like,
I don't know my throat,
and I was like, raw, but no, he was top bloke, and
opens up the interviews. It all went up last week. 3 parts of it, and I'll tell you what, all 3 parts are absolutely magnificent. And hats off to you, because you've done an absolutely marvellous job.
Got some signed photos.
Oh yeah, we have got some signed. Go on, you can do that.
No, go on.
Do you know what? I've got them here.
So I'll tell you what that Nick is. Oh, hello, Nick.
okay, there you go. I'll check out. So
Oh, what are these?
Present, we've got your candy.
Oh, cheers, mate. Oh, what? So we're giving these away?
Yeah, we're going to give some of them away. We're going to keep one because. What did you have? One.
I've got one.
Oh, look at that. I like that.
We got a few of them signed. We'll be giving them away in a competition.
Well, our ring girl.
Yeah. So how many have we got there? 1, 3, 4, 3, 4. 4. Yeah. What we do, if you want to win these, go and watch the John Hartson interview that we did last week, 1, 2 and 3, and comment on any video there that I want to win the John Hartson picture. That's all you got to write. Just write, I want to win the John Hartson picture, and we'll pick 3 or 4 at random.
3 lucky winners, yeah.
Yeah.
We've also got the Zarate one that is now ended.
Closed.
So we'll pick the winner out.
If you phone in now, your vote won't be counted.
But you might still be charged.
But you may still be charged.
But yeah, no, we'll pick that winner tonight or tomorrow morning.
For a match worn Zarate shirt.
So it's from the retweets, the favourites, the likes, the shares, the subscribers. So there's a lot to go through. So just make the name up. No, we will.
Winner is Nicky Hawkins.
No, it's nice that the winners tweet us, didn't they? And but no, thanks to Sean Fennell for donating that shirt as well.
Brilliant, mate. Yeah,
absolute legend.
That will make someone's day.
It makes my day. I've got to give it away.
Somebody tweeted us on or went to a Facebook comment saying it's not really my bag to have something that someone's run about in 90 minutes. Didn't want to enter. That's fair enough.
Yeah, but I reckon it's better. I said, well, you might make it better. He didn't start the game. He come on as a sub. But no, people don't want to win it.
But that would be something I would love.
Oh, mate,
to be honest,
we got sent that shirt for us to have, but we obviously decided that to give it away to someone. But I would love it. I mean, this is rare that you get a match worn shirt.
Yeah,
I can't believe how tiny it is.
Tiny. Anyway, someone will be winning it tomorrow. Ryan will be filming an announcement video, I'm sure. And before we end tonight, we'll end tonight by saying quickly, come on you irons. But the reason we've done that early is because I've got to mention something very, very sad that's gone on this week. We rent this ground, well, we don't rent it, we're giving it for free by a local football club called Newham United. We all played at Newham for a lot of years. Been hanging around this club for the last 10 years. Wasted our youth here, to be honest. And this week, a very, very dear friend of ours has passed away. He was a groundsman. He's a very well respected man in the football community. An absolutely top bloke.
He was.
One of the nicest men you'll ever meet. He never had a bad word to say about anyone.
Always smiling. wasn't
Always smiling. He loved to see us when we came back here, and you know, fortunately we got to see him a lot more. We left the club a few years ago. Well, me and Ryan did. You two stayed on for a little while.
A couple of years.
Couple of years you've gone. Fortunately, when we come back to start filming these post-match pints, we got to see him a little tiny bit more. You might have even seen him in the background of one of our Jimmy Walker videos. I think he might have popped his head in there. And unfortunately, this week he passed away. It's left a lot of people, you know, a hole in a lot of people's lives, because he touched that many people. And I would just like to. I ain't got a drink left, but I'll have a drop of Graham's, I think.
Oh God. Just tip a bit angry.
And we'll raise a glass to a very, very dear friend of ours.
And that pint's for
and
Albert.
that, yeah, the pint up there's for.
He loved them, didn't
we
he?
poured it out for Albert. He's had a few of these beers, and we'll raise a glass to our good friend Albert.
God bless Albert. Ching ching.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Albert.
Best player I played with, probably talent-wise, it would probably be young Rio. But Monks had great ability. Bish